How's everyone going? Welcome back to another MTMR Model Railways unboxing video. Time for another unboxing. As we can see from the title already, and that's from the intro, we know what exactly this model is. Time for another electric locomotive. So yeah, welcome everyone. After acquiring that EF65 from Tomex on the blue train set, I thought I may as well acquire another one because just to spice things up a bit on the blue train, and not only for the blue train, to be able to operate with the steam locomotives. So let's have a look at what we're getting. This is an EF65, so it's slightly older than the 66s. It's more of a box cab design, more standard design as they also you can call it. But yeah, so this is the Kato model's model. It's code number 3061-6 EF65-1000. This is the Shimonoseki Depot version, which is the ones that would usually operate with the JR West steam locomotives when they're being transferred out of Shimonoseki Depot. So yeah, pretty standard box once again, as per most of Kato's locomotives. This is of course our second single locomotive pack that's not a steam locomotive. We're having a look at from Kato. This is the last one was a DD51, which is the JR East spec. This is the JR West spec, so this is more accurate to what I'm supposed to be modelling. Of course, it's all over the place anyways. Jumping onto the back, we've got a nice little drawing of the locomotive and our standard little bits of data, all pretty much as standard. It's so once again, like it's got a clear case on the front. Let's get it open. Pack is very tight. There we go. And drops out the piece of plastic film. That kind of just stops the model from scratching. Actually, honestly, I quite like this plastic film compared to having a bubble wrap, and allows us to see the model when you want to display it in the box. But oh well, never mind. Here's your accessories. Let's have a look. What do we get? We get some number plates. So we get both the blue and the cream number plates. I'll probably end up being, I think I'm going with EF65 1133. I think that's the number I was supposed to be going with, but I'm not 100% sure. Can't confirm that. You'll see it in the future video of what I end up picking. So they do give you a few numbers. You got 26, 28, 33, and 34. These are all being Shimonoseki locomotives. On the back, you've also got some of the Kato style knuckle couplers, so it's nice, nice that these are available if you want to use them. They're actually a lot nicer than the Rapidos, but I just can't be bothered swapping them out. May end up swapping it out eventually though, because they are a bit big. We're going to get the locomotive out first, so then then we're going to have a look at the instructions, because unfortunately it's behind the box and it's a bit harder than the steam engines. So let's get the engine out. Let's not get the engine out and instead just drop the whole box out. Oh, that's not going to be fun. There is a bracing plate underneath the engine that we'll have to remove in a sec. But for now, we'll just leave it there. So here's the instruction manual. It's pretty standard instruction manuals, I will be assuming. Most of these locomotives all come with somewhat the same sort of thing. Where to fit your number plates, that's pretty standard. This is actually folds out that way, not the other way as I thought. Yep, where to fit your number plates, changing out the couplers, changing out the buffer beams, changing out the couplers. Yep, pretty standard things, and your spare parts on the other side as usual. All nicely available if you need to repair anything. Or if you break anything. Because technically models are supposed to be covered under warranty, but I'm not sure how that works in Japan. If you would like to tell me how it does, I'll very much be interested to have a hear. It's got a bracing plate on the bottom of the model. I assume that's actually a pretty cool thing, because it stops the model from moving and the bogies from shifting around, especially seeing this middle one moves. So let's I don't know how I'm supposed to remove it. Assume it just seems like it's clipped into the center bogie. There we go. Yeah, it's just clipped into the center bogie, so it shouldn't be too hard to remove. There we go. So ideally, probably be good to use it again in the future, but we'll see how easy it is to put it back on. So there we go, there's our EF65. Once again, it's a tri-bogie locomotive, powered on both outer bogies. This bogie is just all over the place, at least on the model. Don't know how they are in real life. I can find out, of course, and we'll have a talk about that in the video, in the history. Yeah, very nice couplers, and these pans should be like, yep, like everything else, just sewing up manually. So awesome. We'll go and get a close-up of the model as usual, and as well as putting it on the spinning table. So let's go take a look. Alright, well here we are, we're at the desk. Let's have a look at our model nice and closely, especially with the correct lighting. First things first, of course, we're going to have our little brief history on the EF65, and then we're going to go and have a look close-up on the model. Before we do that though, let's have a quick spin of the unit. The EF65 is an electric locomotive built for use by the Japanese National Railways in 1965. 308 locomotives were built over 3 subtypes. The first 135 were built for general use, which were constructed over 5 years. The second subgroup of 34 were divided into P and F type models and constructed between 1965 and 1967. The final subgroup were mixed models, with 139 being constructed over a 10-year period beginning in 1969. These units operate across the main island of Japan, with the passenger variations operating both local and express services. Many EF65s operated on the blue sleeper trains that once connected the cities of Japan until the introduction of the EF66s, supplementing on the main lines. This was prior to the completion of the Shinkansen, which would end up making the service redundant. At the time of privatization of JR, 269 locomotives were split between divisions as their need for passenger services got replaced by modern rolling stock. Most were either retired, relegated to maintenance trains, or freight work. The majority of locomotives have now been superseded in freight operations, with only some still in use for infrastructure operation. Alright, it's time to take a close look and first impression of the model, shall we? So, being a Kato model, we already have some sort of idea of what kind of specifications we realistically want with it. We've of course got our number plate holes. This unit will be numbered to something which something I've seen that's operated with the steam locomotives, being a Shimonoseki unit. So hopefully it means I can run with the steam engines or something like that. Starting off with the front, obviously, it's a box locomotive, like a full-on box locomotive, which is kind of different. Nice simplistic design. It's also got a cab door on the nose. Not 100% sure what they're used for. Someone from Japan can confirm us for that. We don't usually have cabs on the doors on the front of our locomotives anymore. We tried to, but they weren't very successful, so they were removed pretty quickly and welded through actually. Let's begin a look around. We can see there's a lot of separately fitted details. The lining between the blue and the cream is very, very nice and clean. There's no sort of overspray there, so that's really, really nice on the printing it's done. You got a few spare bits of detail on the top. You got your pantographs here. They do extend if you pull push them up. They're not automatic extension. These are your bogies. Very, very nice bogies actually. You've got even these have little air sockets between the springs and stuff. Very nicely detailed bogies, I must admit. And you've also got a little printing on the side there. Glazing on the window side. You've I think you've got a little bit of detail on the cab, not much, because most of it is covered by the motor. Which is kind of the unfortunate thing with something this small. But yeah, so this is a bow locomotive. There's three bogies. Real life, they would have all been powered in the model form. However, it's only the outer two that are powered. We can see the center bogie. Also doesn't look too bad at all. Looks really nice. You also got your number plate socket there, obviously. So, continuing through the model, we get the other pantograph, and now we're on the other end of the locomotive. Not 100% sure which is the number 1 or number 2 end. They kind of look mostly identical. So spinning it onwards, we can see this end also has a coupler fitted. Both ends have a coupler, making them very universal, and being able to travel on both sides. I do hope to run this on the Blue Train a few times. Not 100% sure how often they did do that, because obviously EF66 is what came in the pack. And especially seeing that this is a JR West locomotive rather than that JNR locomotive. So we can see we've got a few of the pipework detail molded onto the pilots. So it's nice to have, but obviously those they're not extra bits of detail. Got nice bits of handrails and stuff though that look to be separately fitted. So on the other side, basically the same again. There's not really that much different compared to the other side. Not 100% sure what's up with this roofing though, because it's obviously that makes a difference between each side, which is kind of nice. So I guess if I do find out a number one end, I can just compare that to it. So and yeah, so we're back onto the number one end again, or the starting end, and we can really get the box-shaped profile of this locomotive right here. So yeah, definitely looks very detailed for the size. Very nice livery application. Very nice fine details even fitted to the model. So let's go and put this on the tracks on the layout and give it a run. We're of course going to run it in first, and then I will stick it onto the Blue Train carriages actually and run along with those, because why not? So off to the layout. Alright, welcome back to the layout. Let's give this EF65 a test. Just kind of going off to the side, so we'll just put it on pretty nicely. It shouldn't be the hardest to put on. Again, I have no idea, still haven't checked out which side number one end is, so we'll put it whichever way I feel. It is raining at the moment in case you can hear anything in the background. So, right, there we go. That should be on. Pretty simple to put on despite having the 3 bogies. So we'll get it to roll back and forth just so we can test to make sure everything works, so the lights and all that things, and then we'll get it on its running in, 20 minutes in each direction. That was like one on the controller before we started moving. So there are no lights on the in the rear, but there is in the forward direction. There are. I'm actually not sure. It looks like I think those are headlights, but very high headlights. So, which is pretty interesting. It follows more of like the British designs of lacking actual like big headlights for some reason. Interesting, but. Well, everything seems to work, so yeah, it's got these funny couplers. So let's get it rolling. That is at 12 o'clock on the controller. We'll run it about 12 and a half. Just once again, we've got this standard SX power control, so let's get some shots. Right, here we go. That's the running. Oh, here we go. There we go. That's the running in all done. Don't think the model's really changed that much from when it started, so it's already pretty decent. Startup seems to be, yeah, a bit of a kick to it, but also seems like that it does roll a little bit, which we can find out by doing that. It does have a bit of roll to it, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, some of my other models don't do that, so not too bad at all. So the EF65 is currently sitting up the back. We're going to pull that out and we'll put the carriages behind this one. We'll just pop its pans up. Discard my nails. I'm a bit, what's it called? So it just makes it a bit easier to do this stuff when you have nails. So let's bring out the 66 and swap the carriages around. Right, so there we are. We've got the train rather inconveniently parked in the second platform, but the carriages are Tomex carriages, so that's just a bit of a heads up. They do work together, and they honestly don't look too bad. So I think let's get it running. I guess that's all we can realistically do, and in the sound of the rain in the background. This is not a heavy load, so it shouldn't be a problem at all. So let's get it moving. Right, so what do we think? Honestly, it doesn't seem too bad. I'm not obviously that good when it comes to the electric units of the JNR. And obviously this carriage is for the JNR Blue Train rather than the more, rather than the fact that these engine specifically is a JR West Shimonoseki Depot, which operates with a lot of the steam engines, which actually comes to the reason for why I acquired one of these, is to hopefully in the long term to operate them behind the steam engines. Yeah, definitely not too bad of a locomotive. Do I plan to get any more? Maybe we'll see what happens when it comes to the future on other locomotives. I do want a D10 eventually, but on this engine it's not bad at all. It's definitely a really nice runner. Being another Kato model, we kind of expect the sort of quality that Kato already has and does not fail to contribute to that. Details are nice, there's nothing wrong with it. The colours are also pretty decent. This is the more modern livery, of course, version number 6 rather than version number 1, which is the white colours, I think, which is the more of the correct JNR theme. In fact, I'm pretty sure the 66 has it. Sorry about that. I'm pretty sure the 66 has the original JNR colours. Actually, this might be the white of the, and it was supposed to be more cream. Yeah, it's got 2 pantographs, like pretty standard. Of course, how that's used in Japan, someone else can tell me. Over here, we usually only use the front pan. Second pan usually only used when it's icy. So there we go. What does everyone think? Do you need to decipher what number I need to put on the front of it? Once that is, it will get the numbers fitted. But yeah, that's all I can really say about it, honestly. Definitely not too bad at all. Definitely need to give it a go in a slightly longer train though, see how it runs, how it really hauls. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. Any thoughts? Put them in the comments. I'd love to create another discussion. Thank you all for thanks for joining us for this one. Definitely not a bad model at all. Our scores are going to be at the end once again, so see you all next time.